What is up, everybody? It is Drake here with DSF Financial, showing you guys the ATM industry and how I'm getting my money to work for me through passive income. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I know I am. It is Sunday morning here in beautiful Dallas, Fort Worth area, Texas. And I was up bright and early today, got my gym session in, hung out with the wife for a little bit before she had to go to work. And now it's time to make a video. One of the biggest questions I get actually about the ATM industry is honestly, personally, how did I get involved in it? It is actually quite a story, so stay tuned. Now, some of you guys know I actually am in the hotel business. I have been in the hotel business for over 12 years now. And when I was 19, I just turned 19, I worked at a hotel. It was a Best Western, which was under renovation, which actually ended up turning into a Holiday Inn. The hotel did have an ATM, but I really didn't pay much attention to it. I know a Brinks truck or an armored truck, something like that, would fill it once a month. And every once in a while I would notice, some guests looking for a night date. And he would run to the ATM or ask where the ATM is. It did happen from time to time, but honestly, it wasn't on my radar. I did work there for a couple years. After that, I switched over to casinos, which casinos, ATMs are crazy. They make so much money. I do know they charged a buttload for the surcharge fees. It was like percentages, $5 for $20. It was outrageous. And what was crazy and what I did notice is people would, they'd take out a 20, they'd pay the surcharge fee. Let's say it was $5, but I think it was more, and they had a percentage breakdown. So say it was $5, they'd take out 20, so that's $25 right there, not considering what your bank charges. They would bet a $20 hand. A lot of the time they would lose, and they would go back to the ATM for another 20 or $25 charge. Play back and forth, they'd win some, they'd, bankroll, get $160 going, and then, an hour later they'd be out and they'd have to run back to the ATM. And I just remember thinking, holy heck, I know this ATM is bringing in the money, and that's too bad the casino is running the ATM. Dang it. So after working the casino for a couple years, me and Susie decided we wanted to change in scenery, decided we'd move on to Austin, Texas. When we got to Austin, I obviously knew hotels, I knew Holiday Inn, so I went into a hotel, applied, and was hired. That hotel also had an ATM, which that ATM was the light bulb. Now, I worked there for a couple months just as a regular front desk agent, because I hadn't done it in a couple years because I did work in the casino, and was quickly promoted to be the front office manager. And when I was the front office manager, obviously you have to take into more consideration of a lot more things. The hotel staff safety, the guest safety, the hotel just in general safety. And unfortunately there was some riffraff in and out of there. We were across the street from a Greyhound bus station. So I always had to be on my toes for different scenarios. And one day I noticed a guy who was, face all the way into the ATM safe area, which I had never really noticed before. And what do you know? He had the largest ass crack sticking out, which definitely was a red light for me. Like, what is going on? So hustle over there. I figure out what the heck he's doing. Come to find out, actually, it is his ATM. He just is a little unkept, in my opinion. But that's how some people roll and keep Austin weird, Texas. So after talking to him for a bit, though, he was actually a pretty cool guy. During this time, when I confronted him, it was right before South by Southwest, so we were getting a lot of traffic in and out of the hotel. He was actually filling the ATMs for South by Southwest traffic. He was obviously doing the correct thing and thinking ahead, obviously understanding that it is going to be a busier time for his ATM. he was coming to fill it right before the rush of people. He was also really hyped because he was flying off to Las Vegas for March Madness, and he was super excited because he was going to make a ton of money apparently from all of his ATMs that he had in Austin during South by Southwest, and he was able to still party in Las Vegas, which I actually thought was pretty damn cool. So I started, talking to him every so often when he would come in to fill the ATMs. He would try and inquire and forecast how busy we may be, depending on the events we might have at the hotel. Or, Austin obviously is filled with a ton of outdoor events or events in general that ATMs really do come in handy during the events. So he would just, talk to me, try and figure out how full he should keep the ATMs. Now, I really started paying attention to this as well because I started noticing that a ton of people were using it. And, one big instance was that we had a big Comic-Con event at the hotel, and there was a line literally out the door to use the ATM for entry into the event, which only accepted cash. So, there was at least 20 people in line to use this ATM. And what do you know? The ATM ran out of money or broke or something. At the time, I didn't really know what the code was or what the code really meant on the ATM, but there was an error code. Hopped on the phone, he didn't answer. So unfortunately, we had to send everybody down the street to another ATM, and he lost a lot of money on that error on his part. But it made me realize, hell, if he can do it, I know I can do it. If he's got the presentation that he has, I hope I would have a better presentation that would be able to sell the business better. I thought if he didn't care enough to fill the ATMs enough to make sure they don't run out, and if they do, to answer a call, I can do that. I can do better than that. So I started doing my research. Obviously, I've mentioned it before. Do your research, do your research, do your research. And that's what I did. Brought it up to Susie, and we said, heck, maybe this is something for us. So I took my research and I started thinking, where can I get a location? What would be a good first location for me? I was at another hotel at that point as a general manager, and I thought, hell, I'm a manager at the hotel. Why don't I put one in my hotel? That would be an easy location for me to do. Obviously, it might not be the best location just in terms of traffic, but it would allow me to learn it kind of on the fly, but not because I'm always at the hotel, so I'd be able to fix it if I needed. What do you know, though? It worked out to where I had an opportunity for another type of location. Working in the hotel as a general manager, I had to go to the city to go get a permit. It was a pool permit or a health permit, something like that. And I went to the city and actually was kind of overhearing people's conversations, what they're there for. And one guy had mentioned that he was taking over a club, and he mentioned the previous name of the club, and he was the general manager of that nightclub that was changing names, and he was getting a permit to open the club, essentially. So I started just talking to him briefly, mentioned, hey, I've been to the old club, kind of befriending him, essentially, having a rapport while we were waiting for the city to get stuff done, which obviously can be quite some time sometimes. But after talking a little bit, I also mentioned that, heck, I have an ATM. Can I throw it into your new club? He said, holy hell, that is awesome. Because the people that have the ATM now, they never kept it full, and the nightclub never made money off of their cover. So what this nightclub did in the previous one is they would have cover at the door, depending on the band or the group that was playing, and the ATM would be used to pay for the cover. Now, when the ATM ran out of money, 11, 12 o'clock at night, the owner did not respond to the call. I don't know if it was the same person as the hotel previously, but maybe it was. But the owner of the ATM would never respond to calls, and 11, 12 at night, which kind of is understandable, but I assured him I would definitely answer the calls, which it was proven I did answer a couple late night calls. But he was very excited because I explained to him that I would definitely be keeping it full. I have a brand new, Halo 2 machine for him, and he was really excited. I walked in, signed it, good to go. And actually, the location just recently changed names again, which I helped the business partner Moo. Helped him kind of get that situated with the new owner and the new nightclub, and it actually was up and running as of the 15th of this month, and actually had a pretty good weekend on Friday and Saturday. This past weekend, this past Friday and Saturday. So that's pretty awesome. Now I do have some really good news. I got my first location dropped in 2020 for my ATM. I look pretty sharp, huh? Now the location is actually at one of my hotels. I do have 2 hotels that I general manage, both hotels, and I installed this ATM in one of my hotels that I know would get some traction or some action. And actually the first night I did 3 transactions, and I was actually pretty happy with that, being the first night and all. I will be doing a video just about it, an overview. It actually was the ATM that I did a replace for, or a swap out, at the convenience store that I did several months ago. It was a Hyosung 1800 SE. I took that out of a store, replaced a brand new Halo 2 in, and then I finally got this 1800 SE up and running. Thank you guys actually to a couple of Facebook groups that are out there. You guys kind of helped me out with the screen issue that I was having. And the company that I do buy my new ATMs, they actually helped troubleshoot as well, and helped me with the master keys, which thank you guys. I also want to thank you guys. It's kind of crazy. I just realized that I'm almost at 500 subscribers, which is mind-boggling, considering I'm not really very active on social media. So for that, I thank you guys for being supportive, and for the comments that you guys write and the questions. I hope I am helping you. If you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe and like the video, and write a comment if you want to. I will also be making videos still about the ATM experience and what I'm going through from starting it to continuing it on. Like I mentioned, one goal that I do want to do is mobile ATMs, and that's something that I'm really looking forward to. I do hope you guys have had a good first couple weeks of this year, and have some really good goals, some financially smart goals, and you guys stick to them. Hope you guys have a good one. Until next time, later.